Heidi ho neighbors, Radio Goji here, and welcome to Squeeze the World Toys. Today we are going to be continuing my look at the Kamen Rider X8 Level Up Rider series with entry number 13. Lucky number 13. And it would be a lucky number because apparently this character is dead, and that's why he's a zombie, as you can see on the box. This is Kamen Rider Genm Zombie Gamer, and it doesn't say straight up on the box on the front here, but much like the double action rider or double action gamer form for X8, he is level 10 or level X or however you want to pronounce that. Showing the quickly showing the box off here. Shows Genm level 2 on there, even though Genm level 2 is not included with this. Also, quick production note: you may have noticed I didn't bother taking out the box lids or whatever. I pretty much figured out how to autofocus on, not autofocus, but focus on this thing, so that should alleviate some troubles that we've been having recently. And let me just take it out of the, actually, just stay on there. It does say X on the level X there, even though I have seen a clip where he does refer to this specifically as level 10, not level X. But yeah, this is still Kamen Rider Genm. He just looks quite a bit different. He is based off of I assume a survival horror game called Dangerous Zombie. And if I can get this to stay put in the, I think I may have taken a picture or something. Oh well. It doesn't want to stay quite put in the stand, but that's okay. We're going to be taking this out of the box anyway. And I was actually kind of surprised, though not really too surprised, when I realized that all that comes in the box is the figure. There aren't even any instructions. In fact, you may have noticed there's kind of instruction things on the back here showing that the belt can come off and that this armor bits can come off. More on that later. But yeah, all that's in the tray is the figure itself. And for much like how I've been referring to the other X8 figures as like X8R and X8L, just to differentiate them from the regular X8, I'll be referring to this guy as Zombie Genm to differentiate him from the regular Genm figure. And there are quite a few differences from the standard stuff, as you can see. He does have the Gashikan bug visor is now the belt buckle. It still comes off like any other gamer driver buckle, and you can put other gamer driver buckles on here. I just won't be doing that. Let's see if I can get it back on. Oh, camera stand made of cardboard, and there is not a Kimewasa slot on the side there, so that's a bit different too. But yeah, despite the fact that he doesn't really have like a chibi form or anything like he can turn into or anything like that, he does have all of the features that the past figures have had. Has all the same articulation, and surprising enough to me, he does have the double jointed knee that the others have had, even though there's no reason for him to have that. He has the removable chest plate, even though, again, no reason to have that. And that's pretty much it. That's all it comes with, is just the figure. So, just the figure on its own. Unless you really like the figure itself, there really isn't too much of a reason. Now, that said, despite the fact that there is a bunch of hardware on the side of the arm here, it is compatible with all the other gimmicks and stuff. Well, barring the chibi versions and stuff. Something I probably should have done with the other X8 figures. Here's regular Genm for comparison. So still has the same sort of hair going on. I know that they're based off of whatever game that they're based off of, and the character on the Dangerous Zombie Gash, it does have sort of similar hair to the Mighty Action X guy. So I guess that's where they got the excuse for that. But part of it is still the normal Genm hair, so that's something there at least. But yeah, it's compatible with any other, weapons and stuff. He doesn't come with weapons on his own, but in the show he does use the Gashikan Sparrow from Giri Giri Chambara. Apparently he gets the Gashet at some point. So I just decided to bring it out. Why not? Just to show that he can, as you expect, grab onto any weapons you give him. And I'm just going to give him the double comma version because I don't feel like turning it into the bow right now. So, yep. So if you want to play around with them and reenact scenes from the show, and you have the Chambara Gamer, you can use the Gashcon Sparrow just as well as you could with Laser. Now, like I said, despite the fact that he isn't compatible with the level 1 or whatever chibi stuff, he is compatible with pretty much any of the armor bits, like the Robot Gamer, Beat Gamer, so on and so forth. Despite the fact that there is like this spiked armor on the side of the arm here, this actually comes right off and uncovers any holes and makes whatever clearance needed for the extra armor pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do the standard transitions to show you what he looks like in all the different kinds of armor. One moment. Alright, here is Zombie Genm with the Robot Gamer attached. Like I said before, there's, unlike the X-Aid figures, the double Action Gamer figures, there is plenty of clearance for the armor to go on, and because he has practically the same hairstyle as normal Genm, the faceplate can rest up against the face very easily, and it looks very nice. Especially considering the red kind of goes with... I mean, black and white can pretty much go good with anything, I suppose. But yeah, I don't really want... I'm not really going to go into too much detail like I normally do about, oh, this looks really cool because of this and this and this, but this is just what he looks like. You can draw your own conclusions. I think it looks okay. I've always have, I really don't... I'm not a big fan of putting the big arm on, but that's just how it is with all the figures. But yeah, so I'm just, kind of impressed how they were able to take something like this, which is pretty much, what's the word I'm thinking of? Usually devoid of any connection with anything else. Like, there is no, second, level 3 gadget slot in this thing. So in the show, he doesn't have any extra power-ups or anything that he can use. And yet, just, taking something like that and still making it compatible with the rest of the line to keep it, consistent, it was a very nice thing. And I actually didn't think that they were going to be able to make that possible. But just goes to show that they really did, and I'm really grateful for that. So let's get on with the rest of the armors, shall we? All right, here's Zombie Genm with the Beat Gamer attached. I think it looks kind of silly because, well, quite frankly, I don't think that the Beat Gamer the aesthetic goes that well with really too much of anything, really. But something I did forget to mention in the overall in the overview of the figure is that some of the extra molding, these bone-looking things around his legs and this arm here, they do feel kind of like a hard rubber rather than just the plastic that we're used to seeing. It's kind of like the mold that goes around the forearm on Brave. Actually, in fact, because it's nothing in the way here, I can go ahead and put this on. There. There's no real reason to have this off right now. I mean, maybe for this because there's no clearance otherwise. But yeah, when putting in, because before I did this video, the only thing that I had put on him just to test it out was the Robot Gamer. I hadn't tried putting the Beat Gamer on, and I did find a little bit of resistance putting the turntable into his arm. But that's probably because I hadn't put anything in that hole before, so it did feel, and because of the way that. Because of how they have the extra kind of plastic over it, did feel kind of a little tighter going in, but it still goes in fine enough. And yeah, but still, like all the other figures with the Beat Gamer, I do think it looks kind of silly on pretty much anything that you put it on. So here's the Beat Gamer on a zombie. There you go. And here's Zombie Genm with his old standby, the Sports Gamer. Something I noticed when I'm trying to put this on, there is a hole in the shoulder that the peg should be able to go into fine. It's just that there is this kind of nub thing, or decorative knob, or something like that on his shoulder, and the peg really can't go into the hole that well because that's in the way. I mean, it can go into the hole, but then the slot on the that's in the slits on this neck will come out, so it's not super ideal. I mean, it still looks the part, like this. So it's really not that big a deal. I'm not going to, take off any points for that or anything like that. So I can still count it as basically fully compatible. This side goes into the shoulder hole, no problems. So yeah, I would say this is definitely close enough. It's not a deal breaker for me. Here's Zombie Genm in the Combat Gamer. Good old Combat Gamer, my favorite of the, like I said, the level 3s. Oddly enough, though, I've had a heck of a time trying to get this on properly. This really isn't quite on, ideally, I don't think. For whatever reason, the tabs that go into the slits on the shoulders aren't going in nearly as well as I thought, and I think as a result, it's a little bit higher up, and the mask, while it actually on the front, looking at it head on, the mask does, line up with his face well enough. But I also, I have this, constant suspicion that the head on the figure itself is always kind of, what is it, tilted forward a bit. I mean, from certain angles, it looks like the mask isn't quite lined up right, because I don't think it is. But when I take a second look at that, it does look fine. I just wish that it would have, fit on there as well as all the other stuff has so far. But I don't have too many complaints about this. Okay, so here's Zombie Genm with the Dragon Fang part of the Hunter Gamer on. And the reason I have the Dragon Fang separate right now is because even though the arms do seem like they can go on properly, I even have this part off just because I was trying to get everything on there. For whatever reason, I was putting the gun arm on here, and I couldn't have it on the arm and then like hooked into where it needs to go here. And for whatever reason, it just wouldn't line up and stay. But rest assured, as we'll see in a second here, the parts do fit on there, just like not all at once for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just a flaw in the mold or something like that. Also, another thing of note is the leg armor does not fit on the legs because of this, bone armor on there, which is kind of a blessing in disguise because, as I've discussed, I really don't like putting the legs on. They are a pain in the butt, and I'm not even going to try it with these. But I already did try putting on one of the legs, and it didn't fit. So that's something, I suppose. Just give me one moment. I'm going to have another cutaway, and then we're going to actually have the arms on there, just so we can see what he looks like with the arms on. And here's Zombie Genm with, well, one of the arms, I promise. The Dragon Gun arm, specifically. As you might expect, as we've discussed before, there is this nub on the or the right shoulder, his right shoulder, that is preventing anything from going on there properly. So yeah, I wasn't able to get the Dragon Sword arm on his right arm because it wouldn't fit because of the nub there. But as long as it's not trying to be connected to the Dragon Fang part with the whole thing assembled, the Dragon Gun does fit on there quite well. So that's something at the very least. So that is Genm Zombie Gamer, pretty much in a nutshell there. Final thoughts on the figure itself. Again, much like any other figure in this line, it's not a bad figure on its own. The design is kind of cool if you're into this sort of thing. I've never been a huge fan of Dark Riders because, they're always so dark and edgy and soul pain. And, the fact that he's basing himself off of a zombie game in this particular case, and the fact that he's actually, from what I understand in the show, is actually like dead at this point, and the gash that's keeping him alive and stuff just kind of cements that into place. I do think it was admirable of them to try to make it, at least try to make him consistent with the rest of the line. And for the most part, the level 3 armors are compatible and work really well. At least if you have the shoulder armor off here, or even the armor off for the robot gamer. But for example, the sports gamer doesn't fit on there perfectly, but still looks the part. I also did have a bit of a problem with the combat gamer and the hunter gamer. Well, that barely worked at all. I mean, it looks I could get the Dragon Fang on there and it looked fine. I could get the Dragon Gun on there and it looked fine. But putting the entire thing on there is impossible because A, the Dragon Sword doesn't fit on his arm, B, the leg armor doesn't fit, and C, even if I just did put the Dragon Fang and the Dragon Gun armor, or yeah, Dragon Fang and Dragon Gun on there, you couldn't connect them together because it wouldn't, for whatever reason, it did not line up correctly. So for what it is, it's fine. Like I said, of the with my limited knowledge of the series, Genm is one of my lesser favorites of the writers, and I mean, like I said from the beginning, I'm mainly getting this. I do want to collect all of these, and I'm mainly getting him for mostly completion's sake. But he does look real cool, from an objective standpoint, and it looks good with the rest of the collection. I think it's just not anywhere near my favorite of the line. I mean, as far as like individual figures go, Brave is my favorite, and as far as the individual upgrades go, it's kind of a toss up between Combat Gamer and Hunter Gamer. But there is still more of these to come because we've got the I don't know if this gives because it hasn't given us previews on the back of the boxes. No, it still hasn't, and not in a long time. From what I understand, the next figure in the line, number 14, is going to be Kamen Rider Paradox, and that looks like a really, really interesting figure with how they have him set up. So that's what we're going to be looking at the next time we take a look at this series. And we also have the Fantasy Gamer and the Simulation Gamer on their way sometime next month. So look forward to those videos. I know I'm looking forward to getting those things. And we'll see how they fare once those come out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Zombie Genm here. So until then, I've been Rado Goji, and I'll be here next time. Join me, won't you?